Touchdown, West Philly.
A chance for the Chargers, and they score!
In the front, Guzzi again.
Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to Breakfast with Ken and Ben, brought to you this morning by the lovely people. You got yours?
They are lovely people.
The
Yes, I
lovely
do.
people at Bess Eaton.
Bess Eaton. Aren't those girls nice? Very polite.
They are. They would not let me pay for my coffee. Got into a little bit of a fight about it. I was like, no, I'm paying for this coffee. And they were like, the hell you are.
That's
You're
right.
Kenny's friend.
You
That
should,
means you're my friend too.
you should never, ever, ever question them. I told you that.
Well, listen.
And by the way, it's cold in here this morning.
It is cold.
Now, I watched some of the. I didn't go last night,
Yep.
like I promised I was going to.
Yep,
But it was kind of cold out.
it was.
Now, I'm sitting home in my nice warm living room watching some of the lacrosse game.
Yeah.
And I hear Greg, right?
Yeah.
And I heard your voice, and then I heard Andrew.
Andrew Fiore. Yep.
So I'm saying, and I've been there. I said I've been to a lot of those games. I've been not lacrosse, but football. And I said, I kind of feel sorry. It's cold there, and those guys are cold, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I come in here this morning, I see headsets on the table. I said, those guys, they were not there, right?
You didn't watch the whole game because the halftime show.
Yeah, well,
The halftime show, we were
the closest they came to Charahoe was opening this window behind me and
Yes.
making it cold in this room to get the atmosphere.
So okay.
They did a good job.
Someone cleaned in the hallway,
Yeah.
and the Clorox smell made everything very potent in the room.
Oh,
So we opened the window because we were.
Oh,
It was we were getting.
I thought maybe they opened the window just to get the atmosphere of being cold.
No. We didn't have to do that.
No.
My microphone is freezing to hold right now, but because of the window.
Yeah, I
being
know
open
it's
on
cold in here.
Well, after the game, so I had to be here late last night too because we had a Boy Scout troop that came in last night and learned all about producing. And well, I mean, I don't know if they learned anything, but I tried to give them some helpful tips.
I'm sure they grasped something.
I'm sure, hopefully, and so that was a lot of fun. Had a lot of fun with them, the Boy Scouts. I don't know what troop number they were. I apologize for that, but shout out to them. They were a great group of kids, and they all have gotten further in Boy Scouts than I did. So,
That's
were
good.
you a Boy Scout, Ken?
No. No.
Never.
Mm-mm. No.
Why not?
I don't know. I just never. I was playing ball and stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Played ball, Little League, Twilight League. We had a great Twilight League here.
I know. So I've heard.
We got to talk about that someday too. The Twilight League.
Okay.
Matter of fact, I might be able to get a couple of guys that still that played in the Twilight League.
That would be great. I know my Uncle Billy played in the Twilight League,
Uncle
right?
Billy.
With you? Bill Lewis. Billy Lewis.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah. He's up here for a little bit.
Oh really?
So yeah, we'll get him in on a show
Yeah, that'd be good.
sometime.
And I know Mike Crowley. I ran into Mike Crowley one day, probably a year ago now, and he mentioned it to me. So maybe I can get a hold of Mike, and
Okay.
and also Erskine. I know you can get Erskine because he feels he likes to talk anyhow. So we can get him. I played with him,
Yeah.
so that'd be good. Yeah, we get those three guys up here and we chat a little bit about the Twilight League.
Awesome. That would be great. We're going to be joined this morning at some point by Caswell Cook
Oh, really?
from the Mesquamaket Business Association and Caswell Seafood Haven, which will be making a comeback And actually, you were talking about Seafood Haven the other day, weren't you?
Yeah.
You were. I asked you what some of your favorite restaurants were,
Hmm.
and you mentioned the Seafood Haven, the
Sure.
old Seafood Haven.
Yeah.
And you were very excited. I was telling him last night that I was talking to some people that were really excited it was coming back in a. And we'll let him get into that story, but that it was coming back in its full capacity, and that's right, it was you. You were one of them.
And speaking of,
Oh, hey, there we go. So we'll be back in 30 seconds with the man, the myth, the legend, Caswell Cook, after a quick word from Lathrop Insurance.
Hi, this is Dan from Lathrop Insurance. In this challenging insurance environment, Lathrop Insurance can be your beacon in the storm to help you find the coverage you need at the right price. Now, more than ever, you need a partner in the insurance industry that can work with multiple carriers to make sure you have the right coverage at the right price. Lathrop Insurance carries home, auto, and business insurance and can be reached at 401-596-2525. We've been supporting the local community since 1939, and we look forward to working with you.
Wood River House is my home for house.
Wood River Health is a one-stop shop for primary medical care, dental care, behavioral health, and social services. We care for the members of our community because they are our community. I'm Allison Croak, President and CEO of Wood River Health. Since 1976, our health center has provided high-quality, affordable health care to residents of Rhode Island and southeastern Connecticut. We are your neighborhood health center. Let us be your home for health.
All right, and we are back. We
good
are
timing.
back. Yes, absolutely good timing. Caswell always has good timing.
Mm.
We are back here with the one and only Caswell Cook. How are you?
Well, actually, I'm not the one and only. My dad's also Caswell Cook.
That's true. I forgot you are Caswell Cook Jr.
Yep.
And it would be helpful. There we go. Talk for me.
Hi.
Okay, there we go. I didn't do a mic check. You're good now.
Oh, good.
So anyway, good to see you, man.
Yeah, I haven't been on here, and I don't think I've ever been on.
You've never been on in person. We've never done a show with you in person.
How about
Wow.
that?
That's kind of crazy, isn't it?
That is. It is.
Well,
nuts.
okay, not never. Since COVID, we haven't done a show with you in person. Obviously, you, I think 12 years ago or something, you came to our studio in the Narragansett building. That was, I think that was the first, that was right before we started doing all of the marketing stuff from Musqueamacket Beach.
That wasn't 12 years ago.
That was 12 years ago, man.
Time flies, huh?
That was 12 years ago. You were there. Maddie and Leah were like coloring on the couch in the other room.
now they're 14 and 16.
Yeah. So that was that
wow.
was 11, 12 years ago.
They don't color in the living room anymore.
You do.
I do.
How are you feeling calm before the storm right now?
Oh, before the summertime?
Yeah.
I love the summertime. I'm not big on the winter, or even on days like today when it should be nice and it's kind of drizzly, and I just like warm weather, and that's why I try to go to Key West in the wintertime on vacation, because that's kind of where my wife and I would like to live in the wintertime at some point in our life, but not now.
That would be nice.
It's a very nice place.
Yeah.
Well, maybe Coconut Kevin has more room in the van.
No, we're all set with living in a van, but there's a reason why my friend Kevin, he'll stay here until last week of September, and then he'll start saying, like in the mornings when it gets a little chilly, he'll say, it's time for me to go.
Yeah.
And he'll slowly drive his way down to Key West. He'll take like 3 or 4 weeks to go down because it's still warm, and he'll stop and do whatever. And then right about this time of year, it's getting hot down in Key West. So he'll begin his
ascent back up for 3 to 4 weeks.
His month-long journey back to Musqueamacket to Westerly.
And he'll be here for Springfest, I would assume.
Maybe not. He calls Springfest Freeze Fest. But he was wrong. Last year, our Springfest was beautiful weather.
Oh, yeah, it was.
It was just, I couldn't believe it. It was just like hit it out of the park. So you never know with with those festivals. You know, whether you're going to be down there blowing in the wind, or whether you're going to be, you know, basking in the sun.
Yeah.
Well, as quick as the weather changes, I mean, you could have a good day today, and then the festival starts tomorrow, and all of a sudden it changes too.
I
Just
know.
wait.
All,
Yeah,
all
that's got
4
to be
seasons in
something
a
when
day.
you're getting ready for the big event, and you're checking that phone every day for the weather forecast.
It's terrible, and you know, we need to make $80,000 basically to break even. So
You do a lot of sweating.
yeah, I mean, there's some years we've made 70, and so we went in the hole. There was one year we did like 140. So I
Wow.
mean that, but if you take the averages,
Mhm.
you know, we last year we did well, you know, so there's money to pay Ben.
It's all I care about.
Cash.
Bad,
Do
isn't
we?
it?
It's the name of the game. Do we? When are we going to get the brand new Chris Walsh 30-second commercial, as we always do?
Yeah, well, I just spoke to him. Yeah, I spoke to him yesterday, and he
Because he's a big star now. With
he is
the,
a big star with the Soupy movie. He was a big star before with the
He
Chorus of
was.
Westerly
He
movie.
was,
Actually, he was a big star in the 90s.
Oh yeah, with all of those
MTV
MTV
CDs.
CDs. Yep.
Yeah. He's actually going on vacation, so the commercial won't be for another week.
Okay.
I never even have known him to take a vacation, so he probably needs it.
Yeah, that makes sense. I've never seen him take a vacation either. Shout out to the great Chris Walsh. So Ken and I were talking before we started, and I don't know how much you can get into this, but I know that it's been announced
You
already.
gotta watch him.
The Seafood Haven
Oh, well,
is back.
yeah. Well, we never
I know you never left.
we never
fully.
completely stopped, but it was a different situation. Yeah, so we're opening at the location of where Two Little Fish has been. So it's a very interesting story. So Bob Barber started Seafood Haven in 1993.
No relation.
No relation, but he worked with Ken.
Oh, nice.
And I met him through Chris DiPaolo,
Right,
because Chris and I went to high school, and Chris said, I got this job that my boss is looking for a person on the weekends at WJJF Radio in Hope Valley. So that's where I met Bob. And he had a restaurant called Cozy Corner on the corner of Route 1 and 216, where Quaney Bait and Tackle is now.
That's
so
right,
that was called Cozy Corner, which I think he had from 87 to 91. So I worked for him in 91 when I was in high school. Then the next year, he didn't do anything. But then in 93, he opened Seafood Haven, so I worked for him. And then maybe in 99, we became business partners, and we opened another place called Captain Zach's down by Maria's. That lasted about 5 years until the septic system went. And the landlord said, "You're putting in the septic system," and I'm like, "No, we're not." And then around the time, well, exactly at the time that Two Little Fish moved from Westerly uptown. Remember, they used to be in the old McDonald's building.
Yeah, right.
So they were looking for a place. Well, that year, the guy who owned the property down there had approached me and Bob to open Seafood Haven there. And I remember Bob saying, we can't take on another place. So I said, well, I know these people, Two Little Fish. So that's how Two Little Fish got into that spot. So we did Seafood Haven until 1997, and then our landlord died.
2017.
2017. Oh man, I don't
Yeah.
know what time. So we went. So we
20-year difference.
We did. Yeah, we did. So we did 25 years at the location by the Breachway.
Oh,
And then our landlord had passed away, and so we were not in the future plans after that. So the next year we didn't know what to do in 2018. So we got a trailer and we opened Seafood Haven 2 on Winnapaug Road.
I remember that.
Which was not that successful. It was an okay location, but all the traffic's there. They're not stopping. They're just going to the beach. So that was okay. It was like a place marker. And then the concession stand at the Dunes Park came up, and it was like, okay, well, I had gotten into real estate and doing other stuff. And so the hours were really simple, 11 to 4, and only open like weekends, preseason, and then Labor Day closed. So we went in there, but the trouble with being in there is that you got to pay to park.
Yeah.
So all of our regular customers from Seafood Haven, they're not going to pay $35 to come see us. So we pretty much we had the audience of whoever parked that day. We've called that place the Haven Express.
Right.
So then this past year, the owner of Two Little Fish Building wanted to sell the property. So I had a client that was looking at it, and he had people looking at it. And during all that discussion, Tim and his brother-in-law decided they were not going to continue there. And then it was about like late December, I guess the deals fell through, and the owner called me and said, Caswell, you need to take this over. And I'm like, oh, just what I need. But then I looked at it more, and like Bob was excited about it, and he's like, I don't want anything to do with the ownership of this thing. I just want to kind of work here, because he's 82 and I don't think he wants to.
He's 82.
Shh. Hopefully he's not watching. He gets mad.
He's 80. He seems like he's in his 60s.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So he's excited about
So
doing
do you,
it.
Ken.
Yeah.
So he's excited about it. So yeah. So then it was like, okay. So to make it a little different, it's got it's small letters, but it says Caswell's Seafood Haven. So
It's a beautiful logo.
Yeah. Well, you made it.
That's why it's beautiful.
So my friend Ron and Gonzo have been helping me out inside, doing some work, and we put in a takeout window so that people, instead of coming inside to order to go, they can order to go outside, and then we'll have waiter waitress service, which is different. Beer and wine, which is different. I've never had a beer and wine establishment. But I went to the licensing board yesterday. They approved it, so I guess that's good. And then my friend Wayne is painting the whole place, and then I'm painting the outside. Lots of stuff, stuff. So it's been a long time since we opened a new business, and just the regulations and I forgot what that was like to go through.
Right.
It's not easy to open a business, and I know what I'm doing, and it's not easy to open a business. But the town's pretty good about everything, but you got to go through the state, the town, the Department of Health. I was just last night doing my TIP certification training, and, I got to go back to the food service class next week, and all that stuff.
Yeah,
But-
especially with food.
Yeah. So, I mean, we know all the stuff, but you got to always keep your certifications.
that's what I meant.
Yeah. So we're hiring. So we're
All
looking
right.
for cooks. We're looking for waitresses and waiters. We're looking for any teenagers that want to work the takeout window or be a runner.
Mm-hmm.
So if anyone's interested, just reach out to me on social media.
There you go. Easy. I mean, you were probably the easiest person in the world to find their contact info.
Sure.
Springfest is coming up May
Yeah.
9th, 10th, and 11th. That is
One
we are
month.
we are 1 month away from closing day of Springfest right now.
It just doesn't feel like it, but I know the leaves will be on the trees by then. And we have, this will be our 16th annual,
Yep.
which means if we've done 2 a year, that when we're finished with this year, it'll be our 32nd festival.
Oh,
So we know what we're doing with that.
Yep.
And that idea came originally from George Tattersall, and he was the president of the NBA at the time, and Charles from the Windjammer, who was vice president at the time, now he's president. And they had suggested that instead of the summer music fest I did, which the first one I did with Davy Jones and Pete Best from the Beatles was 2005, so that was 20 years ago. So we did that for 4 or 5 years, and then they were saying, instead of having this one-day music festival and kind of blowing, the whole kit and caboodle in one 4-hour stint, why don't we extend it to a weekend, do it twice a year, and do it at the beginning and the end of the season to spur more business, which made more sense. So now, I noticed that some of the hotels open a little earlier because of it. And so it's, when you bring 10, 12, sometimes 15,000 people down, it's good for local businesses, from the gas stations to the hotels to the restaurants.
For
So,
sure.
yeah. So yeah, we're looking at, our friend Amanda Para, who gets all the vendors and stuff together. She's our festival coordinator. At Springfest, we usually end up with close to 90 vendors.
Yep.
And at Fall Fest, usually 70. Fall Fest is a little smaller just because there's the Big E and other stuff going on, but Springfest is the bigger of the two.
It's been great. I think I've been involved in
12 of them.
12 of them. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Or
yeah.
12 years of them, which means 24 of them.
Yep. Yeah. This will be my 23rd and 24th. And the year that we couldn't do it, I produced the Mesquamacut music festival, whatever it was that we did, the
Yeah,
virtual,
we did like an online thing.
the
yeah.
virtual festival, whatever that was. I remember hosting and producing that
Yeah.
in my bedroom. So, um,
Why not?
why not? Yeah, absolutely. What do we got for music this year?
There's a group, Jeff Pitchell and Texas Flood. He's won like best Connecticut blues artist several years. He's had a #1 album on the Billboard blues charts. He's even sung the national anthem at Fenway Park. But he plays with a lot of great people as well. But this is his band. He started off as a tribute to Stevie Ray Vaughan. And actually, I think his drummer back then was Westerly's Bobby Christina at the very beginning. So Jeff is great. He's on the level of, like Duke Robillard and Al Copley and those people, a little bit younger, but on that level. We have a band that's a tribute to the band The Cars from the 1970s and 80s. They're called Sidecar.
Great name.
We have a band that's a tribute to 80s music called 80s Mixtape. Because back in the 80s, everybody made tapes and they would record their mixtape off of the radio by pushing record and play at the same time and then pushing pause. This is before your time.
I just looked at I'm sorry. I just got emotional because I just looked at the lineup on the website.
Oh, John Batdorf.
And I saw that John Batdorf is coming, and I'm so excited about that. A, because I love John Batdorf, and B, because I know that this is his last year that he's planning to tour and do that stuff. So I'm so happy that you got him to come back to Mesquamacut one last time.
First of all, he's not going to stop touring. They never do. The greatest example of that, well, there's so many. I mean, Cher has retired a bunch of times. The Eagles have done a farewell tour that's still going on. The Grateful Dead, without their lead singer, did a farewell tour, but they're still playing shows. And Paul Simon did his farewell tour in 2019, and he just announced a tour, and he's 83. And so, no, John Batdorf is young. He's like 72. He's not stopping. He may not want to travel across the country as much, and do tours like for say. But yeah, so John Batdorf, his story is pretty cool. He had a band or a duo in the early 70s called Batdorf and Rodney, and they had like college radio hits at the time when they were young, like maybe 1970, 71, 72. And then he formed a band. Clive Davis, the famous record producer, got him in a band called Silver. And they recorded a song called Wham Bam, which John didn't like because he didn't write it, but it became a top 20 hit. And, the band disappeared, and he went on to write commercials that you've all heard, like "Oh, What a Feeling, Toyota." He wrote those jingles and all that. Wrote for TV shows, and then when Guardians of the Galaxy, the movie, came out a few years back, they picked up that song from the 70s, and he kind of got famous again because all of a sudden his hit was a hit. So, but he puts out great music. So I kind of just like randomly Googled the band when I heard that song, and I found this was the lead singer, and here he was. So we became friends, and you became friends with him.
Yeah.
And he's played here 4 or 5 times, solo acoustic. He's probably one of the best. His vocals are so good that in the 80s, I think it was Motley Crue's album, that he was basically the ghost voice on that. And he's done a lot of that. And then he was at the Grammy Awards a few years ago and sang backup to Adele. So, a lot of...
Still sounds exactly the same as he did in the 70s. It's great. He is one of the best
Yep.
Yeah, it's his vocals are just fantastic. He
Love
also just
Batdorf.
incredible human being. He has sent in videos for the telethons that 321 has done
Yep.
for the Ronald McDonald House. So he's helped us raise thousands of dollars for Ronald McDonald House Charities of New England. And just always there when you need him. Never asks anything. Like he wrote the jingle for Musqueamachet,
That's right.
Surf, Sun, and Sand.
That's right. He wrote our jingle.
So-
And then another guy we got coming is a guy. He's an up and comer. His name is Jason Acey, and I do this radio show on this beachradio.com. It's called beachradiostation.com. I do the weekend show. Anyway, Jason had a #1 hit on the Beach Radio charts called Rum Talkin'. You know, it's the rum talking.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like a Jimmy Buffett tropical guy out of Tennessee. So I thought, wouldn't it be cool to have this guy come up here? So we had a conversation. So we made it work. So he's coming. So he's going to play on 2 different days, which is cool. And then the United Theater is taking 2 hours on Sunday from 12 to 2. There's the kids that, and now I'm going to phrase it wrong, but it's like music students, and they have like their own bands
Pop.
and stuff.
The pop band, or a different one, because they have a band called Pop
I'm not sure.
that they. All right,
What's the gentleman who?
Tom Foley.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tom Foley's putting it together.
In Tom we trust.
Right. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
This was
Absolutely.
Rebecca Green's idea, who's our MBA bookkeeper and jack of all trades, and she said, "I think the United Theater should, that Tom Foley should put together." So that's what. So I don't exactly have the specifics. So you know what? Bring Tom on before Springfest. No.
Tom is never allowed to be in this studio again. He has his own show on 321, but I can't stand the guy. Did I give him his own show to talk about history? Yes. Is he a good friend? That's who's to say. But yeah, we'll have Tom on for sure. And then
My band will be playing.
well, I was just going to ask. So 2 years ago,
Yep.
you had the global sensation Coconut Kevin.
Which is back on 2 charts, back in the top 5 again. I don't know why.
The song that is burned into all of our eardrums.
Yep.
And then last year, you had a hit with The Beach. Are you going for the trifecta this year? Is there another song? Is there another summer song that you've got going on?
Well, it's not a summer song like those 2.
Okay.
I have a song that I wrote called The Mushroom Song, which is a true story about the Rhode Island Mushroom Company. But we've been a little delayed with getting into the studio because the Bob Cowley, who we record at in Pawcatuck, he's like booked for the next 3 months, and Caswell was not quite on the ball. However, there are 2 songs that I have recorded that are ready to go. One is a cover song called We Just Disagree by Dave Mason that I did in the studio with John Ford Coley. So that we're going to release soon. And then the one we're releasing that's being mastered right now, it's called Wopat's Doritos.
Oh, God, that song.
Yeah.
Wopat's Doritos.
Yep.
I remember how proud you were when you wrote that. And of
By the
course,
way,
that's a true story.
It is a true story with about my friend Roger Walsh, Coach Roger. You know Roger Walsh. The guy Tom Wopat, who is Luke Duke in the Dukes of Hazzard, he came and played at the festival, and he had a dressing room, and I put some like food in there, and I said to Roger, don't go in there and don't touch don't touch the bag of Doritos. So he takes a picture of this guy takes a picture of Roger standing there eating the Doritos in the camper. So I made a song about how Wopat was angry that he ate his Doritos, which was totally not true. But anyway, so it's a fun song that Roger actually I wrote it, but he arranged it for sure. And it's been in the can, ready to go. So yes, so Wopat's Doritos, followed by We Just Disagree, followed by later this year Mushroom. So yes, I almost have enough for an EP. Almost.
Wopat was a lot of fun when he came when he came down and did Fall Fest that year.
It was a lot of fun.
And we had the General Lee in the parking lot.
Yeah.
That was great. And then what did we see? What did we do with Wopat after that? Because I remember
Oh, he played at the Kate.
he played at the Kate, and we went down and did a Caswell Cook show.
Yep.
Yeah. I remember, like, it got to the point one year, Ken, that that in my house I started referring to Tom Wopat as Uncle Tom because he would call, not in a negative way, because he would call me and just ask questions about technology because he was like, I don't understand how to do this thing that we're trying to do, and I was like, all right, well, this is what
I mean, the cocaine charges and slapping that person on the butt didn't help him.
No.
He had a little trouble for a couple of years there.
That was before or after we did. I don't know.
I don't know.
But
it was that wasn't good, but you know how celebrities can get involved and get on the bad side of the news. So
yeah,
we kind of had to put Tom to rest for a few years.
Yep.
But he's probably done his penance by now, so we can release the song.
So yeah, I mean, a lot, and of course John Ford Coley, who's like almost a Misquamicut native now.
Yes, that's true.
He's here all the time. Literally, I played your wedding, didn't he?
He did.
So yeah,
he had a lot of great songs. Still has great songs, but his big ones were in the 70s. I'd really love to see you tonight. Nights Are Forever Without You. He was in a duo, England Dan and John Ford Coley, and he had I think 5 or 6 top 40 hits they had at the time. So obviously, you get a couple hits like that and you have a career.
For the last 7 or 8 years, England Dan and John Ford Coley have been on my Spotify. You know how Spotify at the end, I don't know if you use it, Spotify at the end of the year give you Spotify Wrapped, and they also then give you a playlist of your top songs from the previous year. And so I listened to, for like the next 4 months, I listened to that top 100 songs you listen to in 2024 right now, whatever. And there's always like those 4 big hits from England Dan and John Ford Coley are always on there. I love them so much. It never gets old. They're just fantastic. They're some of the best songs ever written.
We didn't have John here last year, and I don't have him scheduled for anything yet, but maybe we get him into Fall Fest. We had our committee has put out the list of who's playing at Tunes on the Dunes, Blues on the Beach this summer, and this is the 25th anniversary of that. So we're going to have an event this summer when the governor comes, and we're going to give Nick Castagna some kind of citation because he started it, and Paul Duffy, who used to be the rec director. We want to invite him back because those two gentlemen started the Blues on the Beach. A few years later, I came on board to help and started the Monday night version of it. But we got great bands this year. Obviously, bands like Roomful of Blues, you got to have those kind of folks because that's what the Westerly crowd demands. We got Bobby Christina's Caravan. Just always a great lineup. And you can go to the Tunes on the Dunes Facebook page or Twitter and see the full lineup because I don't have it in my head right now.
That's fine. That's fair.
And that's Mondays and Wednesdays in July and the first part of August.
When is the drive-in coming back?
The drive-in starts the week after Springfest, and we always open with Jaws. So I believe it'll be Friday night, May 16th, I think is the Friday night. I'm, again, referring to my memory. But we always open with Jaws, and this is the 50th anniversary of Jaws this year.
Wow.
So it's a big year for, as I always joke, we could play Jaws 5 nights a week at the drive-in and probably do better because for some reason people just want to see the most movie they want to see is Jaws, followed by Goonies.
Yep.
And then maybe like Back to the Future, E.T. Every time I try to play a new movie, nobody shows up. They just want to see like those movies. And then sometimes you get comments, from people who don't go, why is it the same movies? Because that's what they want to see at the drive-in. They want to see
because
Jaws.
Also it's not like, so especially in the summer, right? Like it may be a little bit different in May and September, but June, July, and August, a lot of the people that are going to the drive-in
Different people every
are
week.
are yeah, they're people that are here for the week.
Yeah.
So like why can you play Jaws once a week in the summer? Because it's a different crowd every single week.
And I get people, this is what's cool, the drive-in, I don't know how many years, 10, 11, 12, something like that. But I get emails during the winter asking what is playing a certain week, and they'll plan their vacation week that week. And I got one guy who said, look, I'm coming this week. You've got to play this movie. And I'm like, well, it was early enough in the season, so I accommodated him. And he's like, oh, my God, I can't believe you're going to play my movie. And I'm like, well, it's the third week of August. I could, on a Wednesday night, sure, we'll play. And we're going to play Chris's Soupy movie this summer.
Oh, nice.
Yep. And we're going to have a couple of concerts like we do. We'd always have the Mystic Dead do the Grateful Dead tribute night where they play on the stage and you broadcast them up onto the big screen. So everything's opening, and then Seafood Haven's going to open. We're going to have a soft opening on Thursday, May 15th, and then we'll open on that Friday as well, the same night as the drive-in. I just have to figure out how I'm going to run the drive-in, run the restaurant, and DJ at the Windjammer, but at least they're all right there.
Sure.
Yeah,
So I can just look out the
simple
window.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can just make sure everything's
And then try to sell real estate at the same time. which is fun, and be a dad and a husband and a blah, blah, blah. But, I think the busier you are.
Yeah.
My wife likes this new restaurant. She might actually want to, help waitress and stuff. She used to waitress in Mesquamaket when she was a kid at Anthony's.
Okay.
Well, not kid, but teenage or whatever. And she worked at the water slides back then. So she might make a return to Mesquamaket and help out occasionally at the Haven. We told Bob that, Bob, listen, you can't come in at 9 a.m. and leave at, 11 at night. That's what Bob likes to do.
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, Bob. Let's have shifts here. We can have shifts.
Something about that generation, this generation, right? This morning show exists because he kept asking to do more.
Yeah.
Wasn't even like, could I do more and get paid more? Just I'm bored and I want to do some more stuff. And I think Hazel was really trying to get him out of the house.
Is that the truth?
Well, that's one reason, yeah. But,
And
when you do something for so long and then all of a sudden you stop.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sitting home. I'm getting up at 5:30 in the morning for I don't know how many years. And then after I said, well, maybe this will be good. But after the first week, I said, what do I do now? So I kept pestering Ben, and I said, I got to do something.
You know what's crazy? He didn't keep pestering me. He never brought it up. I don't know if it was pride or whatever. He wouldn't tell me that he wanted to do more. He would not tell me that he wanted to do more. He would talk about it to other people, and he didn't realize that I could hear him. So when the guys go out and do you've had the body mics on for live at the drive-in. I can hear that stuff back at my house, back at here, wherever I'm producing. We can hear that stuff. So he did a couple games for us with Dan. He did a couple games with Greg, and he did a couple games with Jacob. And in between and at the beginning, he would just be talking to them. And Dave texted me and said, every single time Ken is on a microphone without not being on camera, but just beforehand, he talks about how he's really bored during the week and he wants to do a morning show again and he misses it and he needs to get out of the house and Hazel needs to get him out of the house. And I was like, he won't tell me about it. So finally I was like, all right, come on, we're doing this. And it's been a blast.
Nice.
So, and also it's a reason for me to actually do the show in the morning. And, it's great. I have Paul Jancarella Jr. and I, his show Mindset Mastery on Tuesdays. We were talking last week His you don't know this actually unless you watched that show, which I doubt you did. He was talking. His show last week was about the importance of having a mentor, and I was talking about all of the great mentors I've had over my life. And I said to him specifically, this show, more so than anything, Ken, now I get to have you as a mentor. And that is very nice. And of course, you were so proud of me this morning when I got here on time.
Absolutely. Yeah, he was early. 5 minutes to 8.
It's not early for this, but I'm usually very late.
Well,
for the
it's like,
show,
I think
so-
Chris was like that too, wasn't he?
Oh,
Kind of flying in on two wheels right before the news. Yep.
guys, while I'm sitting there, I used to get there like, 5:45. I don't have to do too much anyhow. And then here he comes. It's like a hurricane coming
Yep.
down the stairs. But what used to get me is he just get right behind the console. Good morning,
Yeah,
and start reading the news. And I'm saying, how can you do that every day?
he could.
And he
Yeah.
did. He did it every single. I said, Chris, why don't you leave 5 minutes earlier?
Nope.
But no, he had it down pretty good out, and he never missed a beat.
Nope. That's right.
God bless him. I couldn't do it that way.
Right.
But I mean, he would just put right on and start reading the 6 o'clock news, like he'd been preparing for about a half an hour.
'Cause I remember on WERI, you had to go in and kind of like write your stories.
Yeah.
When I was there briefly, I was doing the news for a year or so, and you'd get the printout
Yeah.
of some of the news stories, AP,
Right.
but then you'd have to kind of comb through the newspaper and rewrite your stories because you couldn't just read out of the paper. Well, you could. Hey, I got to go over to Mystic now and meet my friend Bruce Flax from the Mystic Chamber.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me on.
And I'm sure we'll talk to you again soon.
We're doing a job for someone, so I had this check for a website, and so I'm like, you want me to mail it to you, Ben? He's like, we live 10 minutes away from each other. Knock it off. Just drop it off. We're so lazy.
we are. Like I said, we've done shows together probably like 1,000, over 2,000 times in the last 5 years. This is the first time we've been in person for a show since 2020.
The other thing is, it's the 30th anniversary of the Caswell Cook Show, so I got to get some of those classic episodes on the air.
All right, let's do it.
And are we going to be down there?
Are we going to be down where? Springfest?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
You're gonna bring like a cool setup like this with some.
Yeah, should we have a 3, 2, 1, 10 and broadcast
you
from
should have a
Springfest?
tent with like a table and have like the real microphones and have people from the festival just like come and sit and talk to you guys.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you should.
Let's do it.
I'm telling you what you should do.
Just tell Amanda we need a tent.
No,
Or
that'd be a great
I'll bring
idea.
the tent, but tell
We need a
Amanda we need a
space.
space.
10 by 10.
That'd be a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And come go over. Well, you don't want to be right next to the stage because then you won't be able to hear anything.
No.
But you don't want to be way down by the entrance either because then people will walk down to talk to you. It's a better place for visibility, but I think you should be somewhere where around in the middle where the food is in the middle section.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Perfect.
That
Then
sounds
they'll
good.
bring you some samples over and say, "Hey, can we get on the air and talk if we bring you some?" Pizza?"
Absolutely.
Sure.
I've been down that road before.
Thank you, guys.
Hey, and to get that Seafood Haven open. I'll be,
All
I'll be
right.
there.
Thank you, Caswell. All right. Boom, 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 boom. Back up. How was that?
Great. Good
Good.
job. Yeah.
Good job.
No, he's great. He's good.
Oh, he did a good
Caswell's
job.
good. Yeah.
I know. Imagine if we badmouth them now that,
Yeah.
now that he's out of earshot.
Wait till he gets out to the elevator.
Wait,
anyhow.
yeah, wait until we hear the ding in the elevator. So yeah, that's you want to go down to Springfest and do the morning show won't be great from Springfest because
No.
it's Friday, Saturday,
Yeah,
Sunday,
right, yeah.
but But yeah, Friday, he didn't say it, so I will. Friday 5 to 11, Saturday 11 to 11, and Sunday 11 to 5. And we'll go down there. We'll have some stuff. I'm not sure what we have for sports.
Well,
I'm sure we'll have a lot of sports going on at the same time.
yeah, we could have a lot of the people go down and they can stop and meet all these personalities that you have doing the games.
That's true. We do have a lot of personalities doing the games
Yeah.
now. And shout out to Andrew Fiore, who did his first lacrosse game ever last
Good
night.
job, Andrew. I listened.
What'd
I
you
listened
think?
for a while. I did. I was trying to figure it out. I was trying to figure the game out. But you got to go in person.
Yeah.
See, I
all
want to
right.
go in person. I want to be on the sideline.
So May 9th, we can be there. We can be at Springfest for Friday night, May 9th, no problem. May 10th, we have a couple games in the afternoon, late afternoon. And then May 11th, we got nothing. So yeah, I think we can definitely do Springfest. So we'll be there. Somebody said that doesn't make any sense to me. I'm not going to read that comment because I don't know who that is. I hope you feel better. Someone, I don't like seeing you feel not well. I hope that whoever that is feels better as well.
Well,
So anyway, Ken,
yes.
you got anything else you want to talk about this morning?
I didn't prepare anything. I did not get Larry Hurst this week, but I want to get him next week. So I'll coordinate that with you. So we'll know what day. I'm going to call him maybe today and see what day next week.
Okay.
I like to follow up on him
Yeah.
and see what's going on with Larry.
That sounds great. What else we got going on?
Well, you got sporting events coming up today?
We do.
Weather permitting again?
Yeah, I think the weather will hold out today, right? I haven't heard anything.
It's just awful that these kids have to play. And I know you can't make it perfect for everybody.
Right.
But I really do, and I mentioned it before, the baseball of all,
Yep.
because there's a lot of standing around in baseball.
Right.
And when you're out there and it's 35, 35, 40 degrees, it's not very nice.
No, it's not comfortable, and then it affects the way you swing the bat.
Yeah, it affects everybody.
Yeah. Yep. It affects the way you pitch.
And they, by the time their season ends, that's when things just start getting good, the weather.
Yep.
Oh.
So, okay, there is a 45% chance of rain tonight, but it doesn't look like it's starting till around 11 p.m. So I think we're going to be fine tonight. Tomorrow, there's a 95% chance of rain, and it's going to obviously start overnight. So tomorrow's games may be rained out. But today we should be there. And we're unfortunately in the situation right now where we have to make a decision as to what game to do. Because there's 170 games this spring between all of the schools. But B, because we have Lisa, unfortunately, our main camera operator, the head of our camera crew, is sick right now. So she's been out with a bad stomach bug for the whole week. And Andrew Onick, as we saw last week on Sports Open Mic, is no longer able to do his full-time with us. So he had to take a step back with his new job, and we love Andrew, and congratulations to Andrew on all of his success.
And
So
just hope he's going to be available to do something, right?
yeah, absolutely. He'll be available every once in a while. And DJ Gadget has been filling in for us. As we saw last night, she did some nice bird watching.
She did, and I got a text message from her. She thought I was there,
Yeah.
which I was supposed to be, but I
Right.
didn't.
No, she got swerved last night. No one was there for her except Dan.
Yeah.
And I said at the end of the broadcast, I don't know if you heard this. I said if the Chargers don't find a way right now to come back with these 5 goals at the end of the game, I think Dan's going to ban her from the Carl Lumbum Sports Complex.
Yeah, she asked me if I was there, and then she texted me another message afterwards saying that Ben got mad.
I got mad at her for what?
I said, "Would you?" I texted her back because of the bird. I said,
get mad.
I said that was great photography. I said, why would he get mad at you for that? That bird was up on a light tower or something, wasn't he?
I tell you what, I didn't get mad at her when she at like halftime when she showed the bird.
Yeah.
That was great. It was when they were setting up for a free shot. And instead of just panning over, she panned up to the bird for like 5 seconds and then panned down because we can't see what's happening. Like on the, so I was like, "What are you doing? What are you doing right now?"
Bird
and
watching.
I got a text message that said, "Don't watch," and I'm like, "I'm calling the game." What do you mean, don't watch? I'm calling the game. So
you got to be able to adapt.
anyway,
We're getting ready for a free shot. And by the way, look at the pretty bird that's right over the light tower. We'll get back to that free shot in a minute, but isn't that a beautiful sight?
No, but she did a lot for us this week. She's done a lot for us this week, and so
she's a very hard worker.
She's an incredibly hard worker, and she's
smart too.
She's an invaluable part of the team.
Yeah.
So, and she can do a little bit of everything. You know, she's called games with you. She's produced games for us and for you. She's done this now. She's
called games for us, me and Lou, and it was like a different game.
Yeah.
It was like when we did it, it was like a game, and when she did it, it was like a different game. So, you know what I'm trying to say? Because she didn't really know a lot of what was going on, but as far as engineering and everything, and she got to know like where the red zone is and all that stuff. So we made.
It's kind of fun. It's it's an extra element, and it's kind of fun when that happens. So
when she first started working with us, it was very different, obviously, and we love her, but she didn't know a lot about the game,
right?
And then I thought about it afterwards. That, every once in a while she would say something that we thought was funny because it had nothing really to do with what was going on,
right?
So I said to myself, people will tune in to listen to that.
Oh, yeah.
So they became part of our broadcast. I mean, we were on, I think, for 5 years or something.
Yeah.
And then I did the morning show with her for an hour every morning. She did great on that.
I said
that's enough. That's enough. Don't give anyone much more credit.
I was going to say that last couple days ago, I said that I penciled out some time for myself for a week off, which I don't remember the last time I took, like after graduation this year. I penciled some time in, and she texted and said, "Oh, that's great. You got to do that." And I said, "I probably won't because I never do." And she said, "I can be late and have Ken yell at me. I'm go take time off." So expect for there to be a morning show sometime in June with DJ and Ken instead of Ken and Ben.
No problem. We did pretty good together.
There's no way if I can't get from around the other side of the park to here by 7:55 a.m. There's no way she's getting from the middle of Connecticut.
Oh no! I thought maybe if you went on vacation.
No, that's what I'm saying. Even if I went on vacation, there's no way she's getting from the middle of Connecticut to here in the morning.
So what does that mean?
I mean, she probably could, right?
Oh,
she used to at the. Yeah, I have no faith.
Oh boy,
I have no faith. Anyway,
if we used to go on at 6:00 a.m.
Yeah,
every morning
with her.
Absolutely.
Driving from that's like a 45-minute drive.
We did the 6 to 7 hour for quite a while.
Wow.
and did it well.
Wow. That's dedication. That shows how much she loves you, Ken.
Yeah.
That shows how much she
She was
loves
there
you.
we did every morning.
Wow.
Hey, for quite a while.
Yeah. That's
So
great.
if she puts her mind to do something, she can do it.
Oh, she can do anything she wants. She's
Absolutely,
fantastic.
yeah.
Now, I think
That's enough about-
we've talked enough about her.
Yeah, enough.
We've talked about enough about her. It's 8:56. We're gonna go.
Already?
Yeah, we're gonna go.
Where are you going?
I don't know. I gotta go take my future mother-in-law to an appointment or something. Literally, I do. I have to.
Okay, so
I have to get going in a few to take her.
okay, so we
somewhere.
got Sports Open Mic tomorrow. We're gonna be here because
yeah.
I know Dan's gonna be away tomorrow. You got they got an early game again. Why do they get these early games in Barrington of all places?
I don't know.
So they're gonna be on the bus at 8:30.
Okay.
So I think he talked to you about maybe hooking up with him,
Yep. Yeah, he did.
and
So,
it'd be easier if we do it here. You tell me because I got to see Paulie. I mean, Paul doesn't matter to him which way we do it. So
yeah.
we can go to Paulie's next week, Toscano.
Well, next week is Easter.
Mhm.
Next week is I mean, if that doesn't matter to you guys, I don't care. If Paulie's expecting us tomorrow,
He'll expect us when we walk in the door. So it doesn't matter. It really isn't. Paulie's one thing about Paulie at Toscano's is that
Paulie at Toscano's,
Yeah.
who we're talking. Oh, who cares? I'm kidding.
he says, I could go in there. Now, I know what would happen
Yeah.
when I go through the door because
Yeah.
I went in there yesterday and, what do you want
Yep.
now?
Yep.
And I did. Then we talked about coming Saturday, but he said, I said, which Saturday we coming? We only got 2 left.
Yeah.
Whichever one you want. He says, I don't care. It's up to you. So he doesn't care. So I had told him we were going to come tomorrow, but I can change that in a matter of minutes.
No, let's do tomorrow.
So we're going to be at Paulie's tomorrow.
Let's do Toscano's tomorrow.
And we're still going to be able to talk.
We're still going to be able to
Okay.
talk. Yeah. All
right, that's good.
I'll bring this field monitor with me.
Okay.
And then you guys can, we'll put that on the desk for you. So you'll be able to see them. Does that make
good.
sense?
Yeah.
All right.
Great.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for watching at our pre-production meeting for Sports Open Mic tomorrow with Caswell Cook. Get your tickets now, Mesquamacketfestival.org for tickets and all of the information for Mesquamacut Beach Spring Fest, May 9th through the 11th. Go check out Caswell's Seafood Haven when that opens up on May 15th, and check out everything at Mesquamacut Beach. You can go to MesquamacketBeach.org or Mesquamacut.org. I've only 12 years of doing the marketing for them.
Get it after a while.
But thank you, Ken. And
Thank you.
I apologize for missing the show the other morning, but you're the best. And to out of respect for you for that, I was here on time today. So
You were actually great. Yeah, I love it.
awesome. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, just reach out, DM us, whatever you want to do, and you can be a guest. We'll be here every morning during the week. Thank you so much. Bye for now. Experience local excellence with Roof Right Roofing in Charlestown, Rhode Island. With over 40 years of unmatched expertise, Roof Right specializes in architectural shingles and holds the prestigious title of GAF Master Elite Installers. Known for their commitment to the community and support for local initiatives, Roof Right is your trusted partner for all of your home's roofing needs. Call today for a free estimate at 401-212-4140.
Hi, this is Dan from Lathrop Insurance. In this challenging insurance environment, Lathrop Insurance can be your beacon in the storm to help you find the coverage you need at the right price. Now, more than ever, you need a partner in the insurance industry that can work with multiple carriers to make sure you have the right coverage at the right price. Lathrop Insurance carries home, auto, and business insurance and can be reached at 401-596-2525. We've been supporting the local community since 1939, and we look forward to working with you.
What's going on, everybody? It's Patrick down here at the Wireless Zone at Dunn's Corners at 224 Post Road, and everybody down here is getting the brand new iPhone 16. We have it here in stock. The best part is right now, if you trade in your old phone, you get it for free. We got deals all weekend, awesome savings. Come on down and see us, 224 Post Road, Dunn's Corners, Verizon Wireless Zone. We'll see you soon.
D&V Mechanical specializes in the installation, maintenance, and servicing of Mitsubishi Ductless mini-split heat pump systems. We are certified by Mitsubishi as Diamond Elite Contractors and factory trained and up to date on the proper procedure of the installation and service of Mitsubishi Ductless heating and air conditioning ductless heat pumps. We assist with the paperwork to reduce much of the stress-related documentation required to get the state rebates and federal tax incentives. We are not a jack-of-all-trades, master-of-nothing company. We are masters of ductless heat pumps. It's what we do, and it's what we know.